Hello everybody, it's Nick here with Nick Tolman Music, and today we're going to go ahead and continue our beginner guitar lesson series using Mel Bay's Modern Guitar Method, Grade 1. For today's lesson, we're going to be looking at page 36, and page 36 is an exciting page because we are learning a new key, or a new key signature. Up to this point in the book, almost everything that we have played is either in the key of C or the key of A minor. Either way, both of these keys are utilizing no sharps or flats as the norm. We have talked about sharps, and we have seen sharps kind of used as accidentals in the book, but we haven't actually seen another key with a key signature telling us to play certain sharps or certain flats throughout a song. So we're going to finally see that today. So today we're going to be looking at the key of G. So the key of C has no sharps or flats. We know that. The key of G is going to have one sharp, and that sharp will be F. You will always know that you're playing in the key of G because at the beginning of your staff you will have this key signature that looks like this, with one sharp sitting up on the top line of the staff. That's indicating that all the F's in the entire song will always be F sharp. Not just the F sitting on the top line, but any F, regardless of where it is in the music, will be sharp, unless it's marked otherwise, right? You still might have an accidental or something that would tell you to play an F natural or something like that. But as a norm, in the key of G, all your F's are going to be sharp. The top of the page is kind of explaining that. It gives you an example. It shows you what the G scale looks like. So you can go ahead and play along with that. Basically, it's just for familiarization so you can see what notes are included in the G scales. Just like any scale, it's going to start and end on the root. So G to G, and there's going to be one sharp. It's going to be F sharp. So we've got G, A, B, half step to C, D, E, F sharp, half step up to G, and we can do another octave in first position. So A, B, half step to C, D, E, F sharp, G. Back down. So there is the key of G major. Alright, so next on the page you'll see there's a little bit of a discussion about 2/4 time. There's nothing fancy about this. If you haven't seen my video on the staff, please check it out. That's where I kind of explain time signatures. But 2/4 time, if we remember the rules of a time signature, it's always easy to figure out what a time signature is telling us. So if you remember, the top number of the time signature is always going to tell us how many beats are in every measure. The bottom number is telling us what kind of note is responsible for the beat, or what kind of note we are using to count the beat. So in 2/4 time, the bottom number is 4, so a quarter note is what is getting the beat, just like we would use for 4/4 time or 3/4 time. But there's only going to be 2 beats in every measure. 2 beats. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's 2/4 time. We're actually not going to use 2/4 time on this page, but we will in our next lesson. So when you see it, you won't be confused. That's what 2/4 time is. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at In the Evening by the Moonlight. We're going to start with the metronome at 72, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So there it is. And this one is really not too challenging. There are a couple things to watch out for that are kind of new. First off, when it starts out, I mean, it's doing that D, G, B strum thing a lot. I mean, there's no fingers involved with that. Then you have an accidental to an F natural. Right? So I think it's great that it throws this in right off the bat to say, hey, look, this is a thing. This happens. We're in the key of G, so F sharp is the norm. But you can have an accidental to put you back to using F natural. Okay, so it gives you that. Then you've got this C chord, C, E, G, to a C minor chord, right? E flat, G, C, right? That is probably the trickiest move in the whole thing, and it's really not too bad. So again, for that, this is the third measure. We've got E with our second finger, G, open G, and then C with our first finger to make the C chord. And then essentially our fingers are just going to kind of swap, right? So our first finger is going to go down and play that E flat. And then we've got an open G, and then our second finger is going to play the C. I mean, theoretically you could do something like this where you just like slide your second finger down. In general, I tend to be kind of opposed to any kind of movement that's going to like overly contort your hand, unless you absolutely have to, right? This movement is an easy enough movement to make quickly that it doesn't warrant it. There's not enough gain to be able to just do that kind of weird contortion thing. So just follow the fingering that it gives. I think it works. Back to a bunch of open strings. Then we've got this E minor. Super simple. You just got E with your second finger on the fourth string, then G and B. Good. Now, the first measure of the second line, you have this A and an F sharp. I have a couple options here. Staying strictly in first position, you can play that F sharp with your fourth finger and the A with your second finger. And honestly, like, more power to you. If you want to practice that way, that's going to be really good for you. I'm always an advocate of utilizing your fourth finger as much as you can. When I played it, I naturally shifted to second position there because, I mean, you'll find it is easier to play that shape using your third finger for the F sharp and your first finger for the A. But you can do that either way. So again, this is the first measure of the second line. We have a B, and then we go to this chord stack of F sharp on the bottom and an A on top. You can do that with your fourth finger for the F sharp and your second finger for the A. Or you can shift to second position and do the F sharp with your third finger and then the A with your first finger. Either way is perfectly fine because you're coming from just playing an open string and then you're going, the notes right after that are just open strings again. So you have plenty of time to shift. As a teacher, I'd be perfectly okay with my student choosing either way on that. And then it's the same thing again. We got C, C minor, G, A, B. And then here, the last 4 bars, we've got this. So we've got the little G chord, big open E. And then that last measure is just kind of outlining a G chord. Yeah, there's not a lot to this one, but it is a nice one to play. So let's go ahead and jump the metronome up a little bit. It does say andante, so I'm not going to go a lot faster, but I might take it up to 100. Let's hear what it sounds like at 100 on the metronome. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And that is that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next exercise here. We have a daily drill. This is another scale exercise, but now we are in the key of G. So this is going to be fun. So it's starting and ending on G, and you're going to kind of walk up and down the scale in some different patterns. But just remember that, again, we're in the key of G, so all of the Fs will be sharp. All of the Fs will be sharp. Here is a daily drill at 72 on the metronome. 1, 2, and ready, and go. Repeat. Alright, yeah, great scale exercise in the key of G. So for 72, I did all downstrokes. For 120, I'm going to do down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and ready, and... Alright, so you'll notice that with this one, switching to down, up, it might prove to be a little more challenging than what you've experienced with other exercises, and mainly just because of the skips, right? So you have this, right? So you play that G in this second measure, you play a G down, it would put you playing that as a downstroke, and then you have a B as an upstroke. So you have this weird kind of awkward down and then an up where you're skipping a string coming back. Might prove to give you some trouble. It's really not that big a deal, but it is a good thing to practice actually, to keep that down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up motion going on the eighth notes, regardless of what skips are taking place, okay? Anyways, give that a shot in using down, up picking and spend some time. If you need to start slower and do down, up picking down around 72 and slowly build up with your down, up picking, that's perfectly okay to kind of get that under control. Alright, so that is our lesson today. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. If you haven't already, checked out my website, www.nicktolmanmusic.com. Please check it out. There's lots of great resources on there to help you as you're learning guitar. And as always, if you are enjoying this content and would like to support Nick Tolman Music in the ability to continue to make this content, please check out my Patreon page, and we will see you next time. Thanks.